That's the same thing that you have to think about when you're thinking about your business and that there's a brand, right? When you're asking, why are they going to buy my jewelry and not someone else's? Why are they going to buy my art and not someone else's? Not only is it the visual appeal that they like, but it's also what you've built around it with the messaging. Hi, I'm Jacqueline Snyder, and this is the Product Boss Podcast. I've helped launch and grow thousands of product-based businesses, even one of my own. And over the last 20 years, I've seen behind the scenes of businesses just like yours. Whether they are makers, manufacturers, artists, or food and beverage businesses, I have spent so many hours studying it all. I've discovered what makes them successful. What are mistakes they could avoid? How did they turn an idea into successful business? And what are strategies they have used to make more sales and be discovered by more customers? This is what this show is all about. Whether you're just starting out or you're looking to become $1 million product boss, I'm here to give you the permission to chase your dreams, no matter how big or small. All you need is the right mindset, a little courage, strategy, and support, and you too can be the next $1 million product boss. Let's do this. Hey, product boss. So I know that growing a product-based business can be tough, especially when you're wearing all of the hats and maybe even making all of the hats and trying to keep track of all the things. So one thing that shouldn't make it any tougher is finding the right software to use in your business so you can focus on reaching that next level. So that's where HubSpot's customer platform comes in. It's an all-in-one software for organizing and tracking all of your marketing, sales, and customer service needs. I know, amazing, right? And with HubSpot's customer platform, you can spend less time getting bogged down on tasks and more time focusing on what really matters, making your products, growing your business, and better connecting with your customers. Visit HubSpot.com to learn how HubSpot's customer platform can help you grow your business. Hey friends, hey product bosses, and welcome to another episode of the Product Boss Podcast. It's Jacqueline Snyder here. And, I've been thinking a lot. You've heard me do these coaching calls, and they have been amazing because if you know anything about me, I have been coaching product-based businesses since 2007. When I started Designer Consulting Co-op, which is my fashion consulting company where people came to me and they said, you know what, I have an idea. I want to make something. I want to sell it. They'd come up with an idea and I would help them go from the point of ideating it, right? What should we make? Why should we make it? Who's this thing for? All the way through production, making the products, and then selling them. And so I took them all the way through the steps. And I've been doing this for so long. And I know that a lot of you were absolutely loving the episodes where I'm coaching. I'm getting amazing messages from you on DMs, and you're leaving really amazing reviews for the podcast, which I'm so appreciative. And I was just thinking about it. I was like, what are the steps? What are the steps that we've been coaching on? I've been trying to break it down because, well, Multi-Stream Machine is an amazing program, right? That's our signature program here at the Product Boss, and it's the thing that has changed product-based business lives. I was really thinking there's other people out there that maybe are not getting it, right? They're not hitting the nail on the head. They're not sort of figuring out the things that they're like, we're doing the things, but it's not really working, right? They feel like there's something broken or off in their business. Something just isn't working. And so, as I've been coaching over the past few months, and I know you've been listening to these episodes, I wonder if you've seen the trends that I've seen. And so, the trends that I've seen is I've realized that there are some foundational elements that are truly missing from these product businesses that I'm coaching, from a lot of people that I talk to in our community, that I'm like, okay, I can tell you all the places to sell. I can tell you how to price your products, how to get more eyes on your business without you having to do anything with social media, without you having to pay a cent for ads, right? That's absolutely what, we teach inside of our program, Multi-Stream Machine, and all the things. But I'm like, what about the people that, maybe aren't ready for that yet, or they're doing it and they're like, it's kind of working, but there's something still feeling like it's missing. And so I figured it out. And I wanted to share it with you today on the podcast because I was like, this is it. This is what's missing. So this is what I've seen. And I know you've heard me talk about my framework. So, there's these steps within the product-based business world. So we ideate it, We make it, we brand it, we market it, we sell it, we operate it, and then we grow it. So, what I realized is that a lot of product-based business owners out there, they came up with this idea, right? Just like my clients that came to me. They have this idea. They're like, I have this amazing idea for whatever company. And then they're like, this is the idea. And now I'm going to make it. And they jump right into making it. They figure out how to make it, whether they're going to make it themselves, whether they're going to manufacture, whether they're going to source. They're like, this is it. I've got the idea and I'm going to do it. And then they jump straight to selling it. They jump all the way to selling it. And maybe you're thinking, maybe this is you too. You might be thinking, I've missed some foundational parts to my business. And this might be the key. This might be the exact thing that your business is missing that is going to be like that key that like unlocks that next level of growth, that unlocks that next level of success for you. So I wanted to get into it today because it's the thing that I see getting in the way, right? It's the thing that I see that I know you have amazing products out there. I know that, you're putting your heart and soul, you're putting your hard-earned time and your money into making this product and you want it to grow. You've got this great idea. There's just something that's off. So, what I know about you is that you want to get in front of more customers, right? You want to get in front of an audience or more people to know about your business, and then you want to convert them into paying customers. You want them to buy. I also know this about you that you want to stand out in a crowded market, you know, in a sea of candle-based businesses, in a sea of jewelry businesses, in a sea of, wooden sign businesses, whatever kind of category of business you're in, you're like, how do I stand out? How do I stand out against the big guys? How do I stand out on platforms like Etsy? I get that question all the time. It's, well, I've got my product and they've got their product. And should I charge less? Should I race to the bottom to compete with other people selling the kind of same thing that I'm selling? And how do you stand out wholesale, getting into retail stores? Or how do you stand out if you decide you want to sell on Amazon or you're showing up at a live market or a fair and you want to do that? And so this is something that I've seen, and this actually literally works for anyone that sells a product. So whether you're just starting out, keep listening. Or if you've been in business for years, keep listening. If you are a student of ours, keep listening. If you're not, keep listening. Because the thing is that if you are a business that needs customers, and you're struggling to reach your ideal audience, to get them to convert to buying from you, to get them to convert to being a customer, then maybe, just maybe, you haven't nailed some of these foundations. So, I think the thing is that, and what I've seen is that, and through all the people I've worked with, we have 80,000 students at the Product Boss. I work closely with people, whether they're in my mastermind. There are people in some of the programs that we work with all the time. And I was thinking about this, no amount of trainings, courses, or tactics that I give my students are going to work if they are not clear on the foundations of their business. And I know that's not a sexy word, right? I know that, foundations is, okay, Jacqueline, like that's great. But you want to know what is a sexy word? Getting customers, getting those cha-chings on your phone, making sales, right? Because maybe you're working hard and you still feel, a bit fuzzy about it, right? Like you're like, huh. I've seen people talk about this where they're like, they feel fuzzy because they're like, I think I have a customer for my in-person markets, and then I have a customer for online, or I have a customer on TikTok, and then I have a customer on Etsy. I have a customer on Etsy and I have a customer on my e-commerce site, right? We feel like our customers are different on the sales channels that we're selling. So maybe you're fuzzy about that or confused. I think the other thing that people feel is, and this is so true for us as entrepreneurs, is they feel out of focus or unfocused. They're okay, I know I need to focus, but I don't know what to focus on. What is the thing you need me to focus on right now to get the results that I desire? And that all leads to being super frustrated. Obviously, I would be. I mean, I have been frustrated in trying to figure out unlocking that next thing. What does my ideal customer need? What do they need? How can I solve that problem for them? How do I meet a need, want, or desire? Like what is worth me making and building that is going to convert someone who hears about it into a paying customer? So you might be feeling like you're doing all the things and nothing seems to be working, right? And you're doing a lot of things. Or maybe you've hit a wall and you're like, I'm done. I don't even know what else to do because maybe you feel defeated. You're not seeing the results that you're wanting to feel. And so what I realized is that we give a ton of information and we educate a lot on this podcast. And if you're in any of my programs or my courses, if you're in the mastermind, however you work with the product boss, right? We give you some amazing steps and strategies in these courses. But I was thinking, I was like, you know what I think? And like I said in the very beginning, you came up with the idea and you made it and you jumped straight to selling it, but you missed this like core part, these foundations. And I'm thinking there's 4 core foundations that you've missed. And so what I realized is, perhaps multi-stream machine and some of my other programs, they're picking you up at steps 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10. And maybe we need to go all the way back and teach you steps 1 through 4, right? Steps 1 through 4, those things that perhaps you skipped over, because how could you know? Unless you've been in business forever, unless you've worked for other people, unless like marketing and, not even entrepreneurship, there's just parts that you would know to start with. And some of you maybe did it and maybe you did 1 or 2 of these and you like kind of still maybe feel fuzzy about it. Or you feel like I need to meet the needs of all these different people and all these different customers, right? You're not like super focused. And I think that's the part that I've realized that I need to teach more of. And so I'm really excited to kind of dig into those foundational parts for you today. I think that they're essential. And it's even really important as you grow, even if your business is growing, you might think, you know what, I might need to go back and think back on my foundations. Like perhaps I did skip that step. Perhaps I would be more successful or get more customers or, all the things that you wish and dream of if you went back. And I got to tell you, here at the Product Boss, we do this. We do this multiple times a year. We check back in and we're like, are we still, who's our ideal customer? Where are we now? Are we serving our ideal customer? Are we connecting with them? Are we creating the products that our customer needs, wants, desires, or will solve a problem for them? And so I'm going to dig into this now because there are 4 core foundations that I have seen on repeat through all the coaching I've done at the Product Boss, through my years since 2007, coaching over 2,000 fashion businesses, even my own. And I thought, you know what? This is what it is. This is it. This is the nail. I hit the nail on the head and I'm like, this is it. This is what's missing. And I'd love for you to think about it too. So, one is this overall idea of thinking about nailing your niche. I talk about this a lot of times where, maybe in Bestseller Secrets Challenge, if you've been a part of my challenges, where I talk about what are you known for? What is, and I jumped to bestseller, but a lot of you perhaps have a lot of things that you're selling and you're not sure what you're known for or what you should come out with. I know as a creative, I'm like, I want to make and do everything, but it costs money to make and do everything. And it's also super unfocused and hard for our customers to know what we're known for. So the first foundational part is nailing your niche. And it's nailing your ideal customer. Okay. They're kind of one and the same because you need to be known for something. So, first, I think there's a huge mindset part that we have to get over, which is if you're known for everything, you're known for nothing, right? So, we can't be known for everything. If you think about any of the brands that we love, that we know, for example, Rothy's shoes, if you're familiar with that brand, when they started with recycled water bottle but pretty colored shoes that were flats. They were like ballerina flats with a pointed toe. That's what they came out with in lots of different variations to start. Now, if you go look up Rothy's, they've got other shaped shoes, they've got handbags, they've got other accessories. But this is years later. After they became known for something, people knew their name, they nailed it, they nailed their customer. So, my question to you is, do you know who your ideal customer is? Do you know exactly who she is, who he is, who they are? It's not a range of people. I got to be honest. It's not, women that are 25 to 65 that love shoes. That's not your ideal customer. So if you don't know exactly who you're speaking to, this could be a major gap in your business. This could be a huge reason why you're not seeing the results that you want. And also, do you know the exact products that your customer needs, wants, desires, or solves a problem? Do you have that idea of like your product market fit, that whatever you're making fits like a glove to your ideal customer? Because the thing is that you could literally sell anything. This works for candles. This works for teaspoons. It works for dresses, wall art, soaps, tumblers, literally anything. It could be anything that will still meet a need, want, desire, or solve a problem for your customer. So, do you know exactly what that is for that product market fit? And the other thing that I've seen sort of like really stand out to me is when I talk to people, I ask them if they've done their market research. Do you truly know who else is in your market? Above you, bigger companies, below you, smaller companies, all different price points. Do you understand who that is? I mean, as a fashion designer, when I worked for bigger companies and for my friends that work at Gap and Nike and Abercrombie and Fitch and Quicksilver and all these big brands, we would be sent to other cities and countries to go shopping. They'd give us like $10,000 budgets and we would go shopping and we would actually start to get to know who else is in the market doing what we're doing. What are they making? What are they selling? What's working? That was our whole job, was to really understand the market. So if you're not getting out of your house or you don't have exposure to other cities, like maybe you're not able to travel, to different countries or different cities. Maybe you're in a small town that doesn't have access to like trends. We have to figure out how you could find that, because not only trends, but it's also just understanding the market you're selling to, because your customers are aware of the market. Your customers know if you sell candles, they know all these different candle companies. If you sell jewelry, they know lots of different jewelry companies. And so you want to understand who that is so that you know how you can fit in and stand out. And I think what all of this will do, the whole goal of all of this, is that you would be able to come out with your MVP. Your MVP is your minimum viable product, because then there's not going to be any more wondering about who your customer is. What do they need, want, right? Like, how can you solve that problem for them? And you might be thinking, will they even want what I have? So all of this, when you nail your niche, you nail your ideal customer, you are going to get so clear on who they are, no matter where you sell. Like, no matter what, if you're selling in person, if you're selling on Etsy, if you're selling online, if you're selling on social, it doesn't matter. Because let me tell you, Nike doesn't change their customer if they sell to you in somebody else's sneaker shop, if they sell to you in their store, if they sell to you on TikTok, if they sell to you on their own website, direct to consumer. Nike's customer stays the same. So we have to figure out how you can identify how you can be known for something and know exactly who your customer is so that you fit them like a glove. And it is impossible for them to say no. It's impossible for them to say no, because it's just what they need. Okay, so the second foundational thing, right? Because I said there's 4 key foundations that I see that everyone's missing, is actually this idea of nailing your brand and messaging. Okay, nailing your brand and messaging. So here's what I see when I've talked and coached people. I've realized, you know what? They don't have clear messaging. They don't even know what they're saying to their ideal customer about what they're known for. So they're not even able to have clear messaging in their marketing. And listen, you're not expected to have known how to do this. If it were me, and I am a creative, I'm just like you, I came out with an idea. I happened to go to fashion school. They taught me how to make clothes. They taught me how to design and make apparel and go work for someone else. I learned all this other stuff about messaging and branding and all that through studying what other people do, through working for other companies, through having to do this over 2,000 times for my own one-on-one clients. I've learned it over the last 20 years. It's why we're a top marketing podcast, right? Like, it is something that I love. I don't think I've ever told you all this, but I wanted to go into advertising. Like, when I graduated high school, I actually wanted to go into advertising. So marketing is very much a part of the thing that I love so much. It's like, how do I make the connection for the customer and the product? And how do I like connect it all together? But unless you were trained in this or you have an affinity for it, which some of you might, you're not expected to know it. But now that you know this, you are expected to learn it if you want your company to grow the way I know that you want it to grow. So we have to nail that clear messaging, and it needs to be so aligned with your customer that you know what they need and they know that you exist. So what happens around this? Well, one, I think that it's this idea of building a brand. So brand is a new way of talking about things. I haven't talked to you all about brands before. And funny enough, like, I actually realized when I was serving my students at Designer Consulting Co-op, I would say helping you build a brand from the ground up. Well, people don't understand what a brand is. So it's not a word that I'm sure that you like are familiar with necessarily, or you're thinking like, oh, that's too big for me. I'm not a brand. I'm just a small business. Like I'm just a maker. I'm just doing this. But let me just tell you what a brand is so you can kind of understand why it's important. So a brand is a product or a service or concept that is distinguished from others and can be easily communicated and marketed. Okay. It's distinguished from others and can be easily communicated and marketed. So a brand can include a product name, packaging, pricing of it, history, reputation, and how it's advertised. It's also visual and symbolic. So we could think about, Pepsi and Coke. Ultimately, they're both selling us, caffeinated drinks. They taste slightly different, but they're the same. But the overall brands have a very different feel. And you might be a Pepsi person or you might be a Coke person. So there's the flavor, right? There's the flavor that you like, but there's also the idea of how both brands were advertised to you, right? Like it's how it was. So Pepsi versus Coke brand positioning, okay? So they have very different personalities. You know this, and you might know this innately. You may not be able to pin it on its head right now, but they have very different personalities. So not only are the logos very different, like Pepsi has a very simple font and Coca-Cola has a very specific like cursive that we look at and we're like, yeah, we could tell the difference. But also in the way that it comes across. So Coke tries to come out looking like a family-friendly brand, right? It's something that's, everyone's together and they are having fun and they're a family together and there's all that. Now, Pepsi has a little bit of a different way to it. It's a little bit more like using celebrities, like younger celebrities. So it's almost like the cool soda. So Coke is what you bring out and you're like, this is like a Coke and, the family's doing it and they're loving it and they're living their life. But then Pepsi has this feeling of, they've used Britney Spears and Michael Jackson and, other celebrities like that they are like, this is the cool soda. So they just have this like very different approach to them. And so that's the same thing that you have to think about when you're thinking about your business and that there's a brand, right? When you're asking, why are they going to buy my jewelry and not someone else's? Why are they going to buy my art and not someone else's? Not only is it the visual appeal that they like, but it's also what you've built around it with the messaging. So, I think around this and this foundational part is, do you have an elevator pitch? Do you know how to tell somebody in a second, this is what I sell and this is why you want it? Do you know how to stand out in a crowded market with your messaging? Because you need an MVB now, like an MVB, which is a minimum viable brand. We don't need to be huge brands. I'm not expecting any of that from, us as small businesses, but we need to know why us. And we need to be able to communicate that. And this is why you need to be able to communicate it. If you're on social media, they have to understand why you and not someone else. And when you get this clear messaging, you're going to be able to create hooks and messaging for your social media, for newsletters, for emails, for your blogs, for wherever you're selling. Because you need to be clear on your messaging and it needs to be created in a way that your customer like leans in and sticks around. That's how the sales get made. So if you're telling someone, oh, I make beaded jewelry, okay, great. But if you have a really clear message to it, you have this great elevator pitch, and then it's talking to your ideal customer, they're going to lean in and ask for more information. And then the person who's not your ideal customer is going to check out, and that's cool. They're not your ideal customer. But you're going to lose all of them. You're going to lose all attention if you cannot have clear messaging. So I would say that's the second foundational piece that I see really skipped over because it feels fuzzy. I get it. It's hard sometimes when we're so up close to what we're already doing, like it's hard to define it. And sometimes it takes work or reflection or study to start to figure it out. We kind of actually have to slow down and go back to these foundational. Hey friend. Okay, so it's podcast recommendation time. And this month, I'm all about listening to Another Bite, hosted by John Dick, Jory Monroe, Leslie Green, and Ariel Boswell, which is brought to you by the HubSpot Podcast Network, the audio destination for business professionals. Each week, they break down episodes of everyone's favorite business television show, especially as product bosses, Shark Tank, offering their own unique thoughts, spin-off companies, and critiques. Now, my favorite recent episode of theirs is called Guilt-Free Bacon, and it's here with Meet the Mushroom, which highlights one of my masterminders from the inner circle. Shout out to you, Aaliyah, who made it onto Shark Tank with their product, Shroom Bacon. It's vegan bacon made of mushrooms. Okay, I love the show. We've been on the show, which is another bite. It's so good. And the fact that now they're talking about one of our fellow product bosses who had two sharks, that's right, two sharks become investors. And they break it down. It's so good. So all you have to do is tune in to hear how it went. So listen to Another Bite wherever you get your podcasts. Pieces before we can speed up and move forward. Oh my goodness, friends. Have you heard that we just launched a brand new program called Standout Society, your 8-week product biz breakthrough to getting more customers and standing out in a crowded market? Listen, I know that product business owners, they need to learn how to get paying customers and stand out in a crowded market without all the things, right? Without lowering your prices, without paying for ads, without thinking you need to do all these other things. And Tim Ferriss had this quote and he said, even if you have the best possible version of what it is you're selling, if no one knows about it in the first place, then you don't have a market. So this brand new program is for literally anyone who sells products, whether you're just starting out or you've been in business for years. If you're a business that needs customers and you're struggling to reach your ideal audience and get them to convert to sales, then this is for you. Now, I am so excited because I'm teaching this totally live. It's the very, very, very first time that we're launching it. I'm teaching it live over 8 weeks, and it will actually be the only time I teach this live. So if you decide to join in the future, which you totally can, I can't promise that the price will ever be this low, and I know that I will not be teaching it live again. So if you're like, I want this, let's do this over the next 8 weeks. Let's do it together, my friends. All you have to do is head to theproductboss.com/SOS, theproductboss.com/SOS, because here's the deal. We're going to dig into the 4 foundational bits of your business that I think so many people have missed. They've gone from coming up with the idea, making the product, and jumped straight to selling it. But here's the deal. No amount of trainings or courses or tactics or anything that I teach you in any of my other programs are going to work if you don't have clear foundations in your business. And I know that that's not like the sexiest thing to hear, but guess what is? Getting more customers. So if you're feeling fuzzy and unfocused and frustrated and you're like, I'm trying to do this, but I don't know what to do, this is the time that we have to go back in and think, this is what we have to do. So the Standout Society, the whole goal to this is to have you have a breakthrough in your business over the next 8 weeks, because I want to help you get more customers and stand out in a crowded market. So head to theproductboss.com/SOS, theproductboss.com/SOS, and I cannot wait to see you inside. Okay, so the third foundational, the core of these core 4, the third one is actually nailing your offer and your pricing. Okay, so this is kind of that idea of thinking about your products and thinking, how do I create the best offers to attract my customers to me to actually buy from me? So how do you learn how to sell more of what you have without putting your products on sale? Or without feeling like you have to make all the things for all the people, hoping someone's going to buy something from you. So first, we really have to think about like the mindset that comes in here, because a lot of you think, I should be selling this, I should be doing that. And other people, because I've seen this inside of our community, I've been like reading the posts, people are talking about their pricing. Actually, I just got asked this last week we have MSM Next Level. So our students in Multi-Stream Machine, once they join, they're able to join us in Next Level, which is this like monthly membership where they have coaches live every week, or me. And so one of the questions was about pricing. And they're like, well, I don't feel like I can raise my pricing because all of these other people on Etsy are pricing so much lower. Why would they buy from me? Well, one, if we think about these foundational parts, You haven't nailed your niche or your core customer. So, like, why would they want it? You haven't nailed your messaging because it would be so inevitable for them not to buy from you if they knew, yes, this fits me like a glove. And then the other part is for us and our mindset around pricing. I have seen more people sell more of their product when they're priced correctly than thinking, like, I have to underprice this. And when you have your messaging nailed, it makes so much sense. So I really want you all to work on this concept of you deserve to get paid. This is not a hobby. If you're listening to the Product Boss, it's because I know that you want to take whatever amazing, beautiful, creative idea, whether it's a side hustle, whether it started as a hobby and you just started selling it, whether you're like, I am all in and this is a business and I am going to grow. You're here because you want it to grow into a business. It's not a hobby. And my friend, you deserve to get paid. And how are you going to do that? Well, you need to take all that market research that we just talked about and create offers. Like, we need to know what we are selling. We need to make an offer so good to our customers that they will actually buy it because it's what they want and it's what they need. I just coached a student, I remember, well, not just, but it feels like it. During Black Friday, she's in my mastermind, and she said, you know what? This is going to be my Black Friday offer. She told me what it was. It was like a bundle of soap, hand cream, and I don't know, room spray, I think it was. And she said, I'm gonna sell this. This is gonna be the bundle that I sell for the holidays. And I did it last year. And I was like, okay, great. How was it last year? She's, it didn't sell at all. And I was like, why are you gonna sell it again if it didn't sell at all? I was like, maybe it's not what they wanted. Just because you were putting it together doesn't mean that it's solving a problem for them. And it doesn't mean that it's meeting a need for them. Conversely, there's another student of ours, Paloma Danger, shout out to her. She's amazing. And she does eco-friendly kitchen products. So she hand knits eco-friendly sponges that are reusable. She has like a cool scrub brush. She has a lot of eco-friendly products, like reusable, instead of using paper towels, like hand towels, things like that. So she created this bundle during the holiday season. I had seen her at the Renegade Craft Fair, and it was a scrub brush, a little tray for a sponge, one of the reusable sponges, and that might have been it. It was like a really good bundle. And what it was, and it was like $75 and it was gift wrapped. And I bought it from my mother-in-law. I wanted to buy one for myself, but I bought other things. And why was it such an ideal product? Because it solved a problem. The person, her ideal customer, wants reusable and effective kitchen tools to wash their dishes, and it met every need. The scrub brush to scrub the stuff that's hard to get off, the reusable sponge to use as a sponge, the thing to drain it, perfect. That bundle made sense. Now, if she had put the scrub brush with the reusable hand towels or like the paper towels, right, but they're fabric, I might not have bought it because they're two different needs, right? They meet two different problems. So she nailed it. She nailed her offer. She nailed the thing she was selling, and she nailed it with pricing. Because guess what? $75 is a lot of money to a lot of people, but it actually was like the price point I wanted to pay. The value was there when I looked at like the way she packaged it, and she was in her with her ideal audience, her ideal customer, because she realized where she sells up in, I think she's outside of Portland, Oregon, I think. She wasn't selling to customers there. They weren't her ideal customers. They didn't understand it. You know where her ideal customers are? Where people are buying $8 coffees, where people are like, drive all the Teslas in Los Angeles, in San Francisco, in New York, in San Diego. And so I've nailed it. She nailed her ideal customer. She nailed her niche. She nailed her messaging, and she nailed her offer. And she raised her prices. Actually, she didn't even have to raise her prices, what they were worth. And she, instead of lowering it and being like, oh, the people in my town aren't buying it, I should lower my prices. She's, no, I just need to go where my ideal customer is. And she sells 3 packs of her sponges that are $18 each. 3 packs, not the, each one is $18, not a total of $18. When she was up in her town, people are like, that's crazy. I'm not going to spend that. When she's in LA, people are like, I will take all 3 for whatever 18 times 3 is, which is what, close to $60. So this is how it works. These are the foundational parts that work. So like I said, we need to work around the psychology of it. You need to take your market research and figure out like what are the offers that they need. And then you want to map out what you're going to sell and when, like understanding your ideal customer and what they want when they want it in the year. Because guess what? Your ideal customer is probably not buying Christmas ornaments in June. So, what will you sell them in June? You kind of have to understand when you know your customer and you know their needs so well and you know your messaging, you can sell them anything at any time of the year as long as you know what they need. And then I think it's really important to create your hero offer and then know what you're going to sell in promotion. What are you selling the whole year? We're going to have busy months, we're going to have slow months, but you're going to kind of need to know that. And the other thing you really need to know is how to price correctly. Now, in Multi-Stream Machine, I teach you all about the pricing formula. You've heard me talk about it on the podcast. That is not what I'm talking about right now. Right now, I'm talking about actually why pricing matters, the psychology behind pricing, and how it's going to work to actually get your ideal customers to buy. And the secret is it's not about lowering your prices. And so, what I want you to really understand is that you actually will sell more to more people when you are actually priced correctly, when you know your customer. Because a lot of us think if I just lower my prices, I'm going to sell more. That's absolutely not true. It's not true. It's not true. If Chanel, which by the way, during the pandemic, raised their prices 30%. So a bag that used to like now starting prices on those bags are $10,000, which is absolutely bonkers. Okay. It's like more of an Hermes bag than it is a Chanel. And I know you hear me talk about these designer bags, but it was an important thing to me as I was making my own money. And Chanel has gone up in price. If Chanel, like they went up and they're even more coveted. They're even more desired. They're even more aspirational for their ideal customer. If Chanel was like, you know what, we're going to go from being $5,000 bags to $999 bags, it would lose the brand. It would lose their ideal customer. It's not that they're going to sell more of them. They would actually completely change their market and probably not exist as long as they've existed this long. So that's something you really have to think about, right? And so when you know all of this, when this all comes together, when you nail it on the head, your offer and your pricing, your messaging and your customer and your niche, this is how, no matter where you're selling, you will know exactly how to sell it. And once you nail all of this, you'll also know like, how do I write my product descriptions? How do I write my copy? How do I write my captions? How do I write my emails? The words are going to do the selling for you. Okay. And then the final of these core four foundations that I'm just like, these are the things you're missing. Okay. The final one is nailing your marketing. Yes, marketing. If you were a maker, if you're a manufacturer, if you sell things, you also need to be a marketer. You just do. And so when you know who you are selling to, what you are selling, and why they want it, right? Now, the marketing part, I imagine it like this. I imagine a marketer is someone who's like an excellent fisherman, right? Like fisher person. Imagine you're standing there on the edge of a river and you've got your fishing pole. I love that I'm using a fishing analogy because I do not fish, but we'll just go with this, okay? Because actually, one of my clients is like the number one company in the world for women, fisherwomen, fishy wear. Shout out to them out of Alaska. And so, if you're standing there on the shore and you're casting your reel, you've got the hook and you've got the bait and you're casting it, we need to get the fish to bite. That's what marketing is. Because if you don't put the reel and the hook and the bait in the water, you're not going to catch a fish. We have to hook, line, and sink them, right? I'm using all these analogies that I don't even know what I'm using, right? But you just got to do it. You got to cast it with bait at the end, and it's the bait that the fish you want to catch want to bite. Because also, if you fish, there's different bait for different kinds of fish, right? There's different strategies for different, if you're fly fishing or you're fishing in the ocean or wherever you are. Again, I probably need a better analogy than this since I am not a fisher person. But here's the deal. You need to know who you're selling to and what you're selling and why they want it. Because then you need to learn how to go out and get your customers. This is not passive, this is active. And you need to learn how to go from maker and manufacturer to a marketer. And marketing, my friend, is how you're going to get the sales. So, first part that we have to overcome from a mindset perspective is that you can market and not feel salesy. Okay. A lot of people are like, how do I sell? But I don't want to sound salesy. That's cool. We don't have to. Because when we're actually serving our customers, they have a desire for a Chanel bag. They have a problem that can be solved with your amazing product, right? Even if you sell candles, maybe their house is stinky, like mine is currently because my dog decides that I've got a huge 70-pound dog. He likes to go swimming, and then he likes to do that, and he likes to come in my house, and he likes to roll around on my carpet. So guess what? That carpet sometimes holds onto that smell. So I could light a candle for a room freshener, or I can light a candle for a mood. There's different needs that I have it for. So when you kind of understand that, you're not selling to me, you're actually helping me solve a problem. If you're showing me jewelry, you're helping me meet a need, want, or desire of how I want to look or feel. A Chanel bag makes someone feel a certain way. That's why they go for a Chanel bag and not for just a generic bag that they can buy somewhere else. It has status to it. So when you start to understand that and identify it, then it becomes easier. Because here's the deal about marketing, and here's the deal about selling your products. And I see this, so you've heard the saying, if a tree falls in the woods and there's no one around to hear it, does it even make a sound? Well, I'd like to switch that around. If a product boss sells a product and there's no one around to see it, do they even make a sale? And that's why you need to learn to market. So you need a marketing plan, and you need to figure out active ways that you're going to market. And there's also passive ways to market. And let me just say something real quick. And this is a hard truth. I don't care if you're an introvert or an extrovert. That is how we get energy, right? Introverts, if they expel if they're around a lot of people, they might need to go lay down in a room by themselves on the floor, right? That's an introvert. Extroverts might be at a party around a lot of people, and then they can be like me and go home and record podcasts because they're fed by that energy. But it does not take away the fact that we still have to show up for our businesses as marketers. We still need to let people know that we exist. And we need to know how to do that. So you need a marketing plan. You need to think about, how do I do this? You need to think about, where am I marketing, right? It's omni-channel. It's actually in all places. I walk my students through this, especially like my one-on-one students or my masterminders, and we actually break down marketing campaigns from really big companies because guess what? We can hack that. We can hack marketing campaigns. And I know exactly how to do that. I know how to look, where to look, what to look for, and to show you like, oh, this is what they're launching. Oh, this is how they're marketing it. And we can actually hack it and reverse engineer it to say, okay, I'm gonna pay attention to this because they have millions and millions of dollars in market research and the teams that they have in their advertising dollars. So why not? We don't need that. We just need to know how to hack it and reverse engineer it and then do it for our companies. The other thing you need to learn about is a launch. I think a lot of people don't even know what a launch is, but a launch is when you're coming out with a new product or a new scent or a new piece of jewelry, or you're launching your holiday collection or whatever it is. It's actually a whole marketing campaign where we start to seed it, where like people are kind of aware of it. Then the day that we sell it, I just had a student ask me, we're going to be, I think it's at the MTV Music Awards. And we're going to be a part of the gifting bags and like the gift suites. Do I tell my customers? What do I do? And so I coached her through an entire marketing campaign and how she was going to launch it, and then how she could use that, and then how to sell more of her products after. So we have to understand what a launch is, why you need it, and why it's going to actually help you sell more. Because it's not always about social media, but then social media is a really big key player because it is the easiest and fastest way to grow an audience and turn your followers to customers. When I had my businesses, I did not have access to social media the way that you have it. So today, we can reach people on the other side of the world, on the other side of the planet from us, through understanding how we can use social media. None of us have to be content creators. None of us have to dance on TikTok or whatever the people are doing these days, right? We can step out of that and understand how to use it as a tool for marketing because it is the easiest and fastest way to grow, but you just maybe don't know how to do it yet. And if you've been paying attention to the Product Boss, we have been growing so fast lately, so fast. And so that's something that I want you all to understand and I want you to know, because I also want to teach you how to stand out on social media so you can grow your audience. Because when you grow your audience, you have more people to sell to. So I think it's just really important. And then the other thing might be like, know where your customers are. So when you know your ideal customer, we can figure out where they are. And then you're going to also realize, oh, I've been selling in the wrong places to the wrong people. The same way that Paloma realized, Paloma Danger, that she had the great product. She knew what it was and the problem it would solve. She just didn't know her target market. So she wasn't selling because she was selling in the wrong places. So if you're thinking like, I'm going to markets, I'm at fairs, I'm on Etsy, I'm selling, I'm selling wholesale, whatever it is, but maybe you're not finding yourself selling the way that you think you should be selling, it might be that you're selling in the wrong places to the wrong people. One of these things might be incorrect. So when we nail these core four foundations, it'll make it so much easier for you to sell on more sales channels, right? It'll make it so much easier for you to have that multi-stream machine of revenue. You can sell on Amazon. You can sell wholesale. You can sell direct to consumer through your e-commerce site. You can sell at any in-person market as long as you're at the right one. You could sell more on Etsy. You can sell wherever you're selling, whatever that marketplace is. But without these core four, which is the thing that I've seen and I've realized, oh, this is what's missing, then you're putting yourself in a really hard place. Okay. So, like I said, we've skipped steps. You came up with the idea, you made it, you went straight to selling it. And if you're like, oof, I've missed something, then this is what I think we've missed. And so you're probably identified in here and you're like, yeah, that's definitely some of the stuff, Jacqueline. Yep, we did it. Like we were there. That's some of the stuff that we've missed. So here's what I'd like to tell you. And this is what I'm really, really excited about. And also, I'm kind of nervous. So I've launched a new program. So as you know, we've had multi-stream machine for over 5,000 students have gone through that program, and it has changed lives. But whether you're a multi-stream machine student, or maybe you're not even a student of mine at all, you might just be listening to the podcast, or maybe even waiting for the perfect program to become a student of the Product Boss. I'm really excited because I've been working on this and working on this and working on this. And it's because what I've seen is that there's a gap, right? There's a gap in what we teach inside of multi-stream machine and what I see a lot of people are missing. Like I said, so many people they come up with the idea and they make something and they jump straight to selling it. And so no matter what I give you in terms of like, this is how you can sell more, this is how you can get more eyes on your business, or maybe you are selling more and you are getting more eyes, but you feel like you're missing something foundational in your business. This is what I'm realizing is missed. And the thing is that over the past several months, I've been working one-on-one with a lot of students, like probably about 100 people at this point where I've gone one-on-one. That's the thing when I took over the Product Boss back in the fall that I was like, I need to dig back in and coach and listen and have boots on the ground and understand, what do students need? And I've seen something consistently come up on these coaching calls because I've been asking questions and I've been asking, like, what else do you need? And I've been listening to where I see the gaps. And so we realized that there was a program that's not out there anywhere in the world, right? I've never seen anyone teach this other than those of you who maybe are in the mastermind with me and like you get to go back and forth with me. But it's something that I realize is like a core fundamental thing. So here's the exciting news, and you're hearing it first here. All right. This is the only time I'm going to be teaching this brand new program. I'm going to be teaching it live over 8 weeks. And I'm really excited to tell you that it's called Stand Out Society, your 8-week product biz breakthrough to getting more customers and standing out in a crowded market. Or, like we're calling it here at the Product Boss, SOS, right? SOS. Please, someone tell me. Listen, I know what you all need, and it's that you need to stand out in this crowded market, right? And I know you want to get more customers, but sometimes there's this break between knowing what, like you have the thing to sell, but you're not necessarily creating that connection with people, with the customers, understanding like why they would buy from you and not someone else. And even how are you going to go out and get those customers to know that you exist, and learning that through social media, through marketing, short form and long form marketing. So, like I said, this is the only time that I'm going to be teaching this live. And we're going to go over these core 4 foundations to a product-based business, the things that you need to nail in your business. And when you do, it will unlock that next level of biz for you. So not only am I going to be teaching it live over 8 weeks, this is the only time it's happening, you're also going to be getting additional trainings inside of our private members only training vault. Okay, so every week there's going to be something I teach live, as well as additional trainings. None of this is going to be super overwhelming, but the goal will be that it moves you through over 8 weeks so that in just 8 weeks, you're going to feel so clear, so clear. You're going to know exactly what you need to be saying, exactly what you need to be doing, that no matter where you sell, it will start to feel like it works. So you're going to get those smaller trainings plus the live trainings. We're going to dig deeper into each of the elements that we talked about. There's going to be worksheets and templates, right? And this is going to be that key that unlocks that next level for you. And I know this because I've been trying it on all of these students that I've been coaching one-on-one. I've been trying it inside of my mastermind when I've been working deeply and closely with people. So if you want to join, okay, this is the lowest price it will ever be because this is our first launch and you're getting it live. All you have to do is head to theproductboss.com/SOS. So it's theproductboss.com/SOS. And you're going to get these 4 essential parts of your business, these foundational elements of your business that we're going to go through to work on live together. And not only that, you're also going to get mindset support because I don't want you to let your fears get the better of you. We're going to have a private group that's going to be right there with you. And there's going to be tons of bonuses, which you can learn about when you head over to theproductboss.com/SOS, because I've thought through everything that you need in each part of this program, every single part of nailing it. What do you need? And so I'm going to give that to you exactly what you need in each section. I want your success. I want your success to be inevitable. And I want to guide you along on that. So you're going to get things like social media strategy templates and a content calendar and plug and play social media templates. So we're going to cover the social stuff because I know you want to learn it. We're going to talk about, nailing your branding, right? So you're going to get branding guidelines and packaging sources and a $1 billion brand workshop. I'm going to teach you how to use ChatGPT to move you further and faster, right? So how can we use that for specific things that we want to solve for your customer? How do we move your customer away from pain and closer to pleasure? That's what we all want. That's how you sell more because we can all have products, but products are products are products. It is so much more than our product that's going to be the thing that sells. I'm going to help you with a product trend generator. And you're also going to, like I talked about mindset, you're going to get my personal, abundant, and empowered mindset playlist because the one thing that has unlocked everything for me has been working on my mindset. If anything was getting in my way, it was me. So I want to make sure that you feel empowered as well. I mean, this is going to be amazing. We're going to do it together, right? And like I said, it's going to be the only time I'm teaching this live. So if you're like, it's not for me right now and I want to come in later, great. It's just when we offer it again, it won't be at the same price and I won't be live. Like this is the super, super special beta rate. This is like our early pre-launch. Let's do this together. And you will get lifetime access to it. So you'll get all the recordings and you'll have the lifetime access. So no worries if you can't be at all the lives, but you will have the access to it and at this price that will never be again. Okay. So again, if you want to learn more, head to theproductboss.com/SOS. All right. Because this is the Standout Society, your 8-week product biz breakthrough to getting more customers and standing out in a crowded market. This is what you've been missing. This is what you've been waiting for. I know what Multi-Stream Machine can do for you, but this is the thing I am so excited about because I feel like we've nailed it. We've nailed the thing that I have seen all of you getting in your way. I've been working on this for the last 8 months since I decided to take over the Product Boss and since we were moving forward and we're like, what else do you need? And that's why I've gone so deep into working with all of you. And we will continue to do that and we will continue the coaching calls. But I hope that this is the thing. This is that SOS. I need to connect deeper with my customers. I need to stand out in a crowded market. I need to build an audience that I can convert to buyers, all of that. And all of this is the stuff that's going to work for you no matter where you sell. Oh my gosh, I'm so excited. You have no idea. I just can't wait. So, and you might be thinking, okay, this is awesome. What's the difference, right? So, if you think about Multi-Stream Machine gives you the tools and the tactics on how to sell more and how to get more eyes on your business and how to multiply your revenue and all of these trainings and all of these sales channels. And what I've realized for all of you is that works. And a lot of you, I mean, the majority of you are super successful, but there's a lot of people that feel stuck, right? They feel like there's this part that they're like, what's the next thing? Right? Like what's getting in your way of actually succeeding? And I've seen it that it's these foundational parts. I know, doesn't sound that sexy, but you know what is sexy? Selling, connecting, growing your business, feeling so clear on what you're making and selling. right? So if you've skipped over it, if you're unclear, if you're fuzzy, if you need to come back to this and like recalibrate, this is for all levels, whether you're just starting out, whether you've been selling and you're like, I think I skipped this, whether you are selling and you've got a big business, but you need to reapproach this in a different way. This is going to be that thing that unlocks your next level. I'm so excited. I hope you're excited as well. I cannot wait to see you join me inside of it. Again, it's theproductboss.com/SOS. And I will see you in there. And we're going to kick off our very first session live in May. And we'll get you all the details, and there'll be some stuff for you before. But remember, you're getting in now at a rate that will never exist again, and at a time where I'm doing this live and I'm going to teach you up until the summer, and then you're going to have your time to go work and dig in on your business. All right, my friends? I can't wait. And let me know if you have any questions. Just send us a DM over at The Product Boss on Instagram. I'm so excited. All right, see you inside. Thank you for being here and listening all the way through the Product Boss podcast. If you love our show and it has helped you in any way in your business, would you mind doing 2 things for us? Subscribe to the show so you never miss an episode, and leave us a review. Reviews help other product entrepreneurs know that this is the place to be to grow their businesses and realize that they're not alone. And we know that you all know that a 5-star and honest review helps you sell more products to more people. So you know that your reviews help us reach more listeners around the world. Remember, what we give is what we receive, and we are all about helping each other in the Product Boss community. We are all in this together. We would be so appreciative of you if you could take the time right now to subscribe, leave a review, and even share this episode on social or someone you know so we can impact more lives. And remember, subscribing means that you will get notified each time we release a new episode so you never miss a thing. You have helped us grow and climb into the top 10 of all marketing podcasts, and together we can keep climbing. Thank you, friends. And remember, there is room at the top for all of us.